Well, good morning there, farmers. We are out here in the fields bright and early this November morning, 9 a.m. Beautiful Elm Creek sunrise overlooking the cotton fields as I completely miss a row. That's what you get for trying to be scenic, man. We are on our own fields today. We got this field here of cotton and we got the field just past it right there also ready to harvest. We are going to get both of these harvested today and we are speeding right into our favorite time of year, which is selling season. This last month we were able to get several field flips of cotton covered, as well as look at all that wool coming from the sheep. We do have clothes production fully set up, so we are able to feed it all of this cotton, all of this wool, and we're able to make a ton of clothes. Should be able to make a ton of money off those clothes once the selling season comes around. Clothes don't quite sell till I believe it was April, but hey man, selling season really begins soon for us. We have all that silage cooking up in that silo right there. That's going to be sold in January. Some of our greenhouse products at the same time as per usual. On top of that, we are rapidly approaching December, which is our season for selling bread, which we have quite a lot of these days with all that oat we've been farming. We are still out here with a leased harvester. This might be one that I invest in and just fully buy. I'm not quite sure. Might return it after this. We shall see. It's been a great time harvesting this cotton, as long as I don't miss any more rows there. Now, there are a couple of things that I would like to accomplish today, one of which is actually a pretty big change for the series in general. Now, since the beginning, when we started 8 years ago in game, I have been playing on the hardest difficulty, which is the start from scratch. The idea of the series was to get $1 billion specifically on the hardest difficulty. I think that is actually very doable. We're at a point in the series where I'm making a lot of money per year. I could keep this growth rate going and reach $1 billion. The only problem is it is going to take a long time. We are totally profitable. We don't lose money year to year. We gain quite a lot of it. I usually invest most of it, so I'm not even sure what our year to year earning is, but I think it's well over $1 million. So that is one thing. We could just keep going and slowly build it up, and we're more or less going to continue doing that. But the change that I think I'm actually going to go for and that I thought about for a long time was I'm actually going to drop the economy to a slightly more friendly one. Now, all that really does is make it so we get a little bit more return on our products we sell. They just have a higher sell price. All the day-to-day will be the same, but we're probably just going to get a little bit more money per sale, which I think will be good. Like I said, this is totally doable, but I think in the interest of just keeping things interesting, as I drop a bailout right there, look at that boy. As I was saying, just to keep things in the series interesting, a little less monotonous day to day, I think just increasing the money we get for our products doesn't really make it any harder. It just makes it a little less time intensive. So that is something I will be doing today. And as I said, I'm just going to drop it down to like the normal economy settings, maybe even drop it down to easy later on. But for now, we're just going to drop it down by 1. It's just one of those things. I don't think that actually really added any difficulty. Maybe early on, but we're at a point where we own a good chunk of the map. We make a ton of money, and I would rather just expedite it just a little bit, make it a little less time intensive, so we're not on episode 800. Trying to keep it at least in the double digits, you know what I mean? Now, as you can see, we got a little needs to be refilled in the top right there. I do have one of our tractors out fertilizing some of the other fields, our grass fields that we planted last episode. You can see Sheep Alley, Oil Can, and Big Boy are 3 custom fields. They do need a little bit of fertilizer love. Does look like Big Boy almost fully fertilized, so I can jump up here and get us a little bit more fertilizer. But first things first, I did say that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna drop it down to normal. All it does is affect the buying and selling prices. Gives a little bit more money on contracts, that sort of thing. We might drop it down to easy eventually, but for now we'll leave it on normal. But yeah, just a little bit of an update there. Shouldn't change anything day to day, like literally whatsoever. It might just make it so I'm able to, you know, buy a few more fields, a few more pieces of equipment, just stuff like that. I think if you start with that, it makes things quite a bit easier. Just makes it so you have to grind a little bit bit less on contracts and stuff like that, which really doesn't add a ton of difficulty. Oh boy, I really thought I had that harvester on the tracks over there. I thought I was about to watch a collision happen. So speaking of grass, I did see our boy Leroy down there wanted us to make some silage bales and deliver them on up to the biogas plant. This, once again, is just an auto accept. This makes so much money, man. Boom, borrow them items. Kind of funny seeing them all pop in here next to me at the vehicle store. So I will get that contract started. It's nice. It comes with a couple tractors and a self-propelled mower. Very, very nice. So we got that contract fully underway there. We got some harvesting of cotton going on over there. And one thing I actually noticed on the store was, speaking of fertilizer, I found a really nice fertilizer and lime spreader that I didn't even think we would need as an upgrade. One thing I have been a little sad with this fertilizer spreader in particular, it works great. It's tiny and mobile, you know what I mean? It doesn't have an extra pair of wheels you got to drag around. It just fully attaches to the tractor, but the capacity is super duper low. I took a look here and actually saw a really good sale, 62% off on this guy. It is another Amazon fertilizer spreader, 42 meter work width, just like the other one, 11 miles per hour, which I'm pretty sure is the same as the one I'm using right now. You can see right here, it does do solid fertilizer and lime, so it's just fantastic. On top of that, it also holds 18,000 liters. Now you compare it to this guy, same working width and miles per hour, just holds significantly more. I'm thinking this is actually going to be a purchase. This is something I would normally just like lease out, but with all the fertilizing we end up having to do, I think this is going to be a terrific investment. So I'm going to go ahead and get this actually and use it right now. We got some fertilizing to do, so I'm happy to use this. Look at that guy. The little fertilizer spreader has a friend, and by a friend, I mean a somewhat replacement. I don't think I'm going to sell the small one for now. I think it's going to be handy to have multiple. Although if we wanted multiple, we'll probably just want to get another one of these because this thing is fantastic. Fill it on up, man. This would probably be a good time to get one of those nice fill-up points for fertilizer. Probably just put it somewhere on our farm. Since this guy has such a big capacity, filling it up bag by bag is just kind of ridiculous. And they just wouldn't do it this way in the real world either. Just kind of scooch those bags a little closer. We'll just get this guy filled up. This is only going to fill it like halfway, but I think this should be more than enough fertilizer just for the day. So I think we'll leave it at that for now. 8,000 should be good enough just to finish these fields out. So I will just keep it that way for now. You can see the spinnery here has 135,000 liters of cotton, as well as another 30,000 liters of wool there. Need to ship up that wool, fill that guy up, get the fabric going, but you can see it is not filling up quite yet. It is still distributing it to the spinnery. Gotta say, I think I might even just upgrade these guys again. I know it's just ridiculous, but this is going to be such like a staple product for us, and it makes so much money that I think every dollar that I put into upgrading these guys is going to be a terrific return on investment. So I mean, yeah, why not? Let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. Upgrade factory to spinnery level 4. And while I'm at it, I mean, it's not filling up the clothes shop, at least not yet, although this is starting to get stacked up. So maybe we should upgrade. I mean, honestly, I should just upgrade both of them again. I'm gonna do it. Why not? Why not? We did do some field flipping last episode, but that actually ends up making us a bit of money. Obviously, with all of the product we're able to take off of it, just about $1 million in debt. But as I said last episode, our cap for the loan is a little over 2 million now, I believe. So we are not even halfway to our loan cap here. All right, so said I was gonna upgrade this as well. So bam, there we go. So level 3 tailor shop, and I believe it was level 5 for the spinnery. In terms of the other productions, still making that flour out of that oat. We have a lot to chunk through. It's all going into bread, and we are slowly churning that out there. Oh man, so speaking of silage here, considering we are going to be filling this up again tomorrow, I might actually just start our selling season now. I might get rid of this, although I guess this might be due for an upgrade as well. This literally just filled up today, so that's why it's there. But yeah, 2 million liters liters of silage is insane. So level 5 fermenting silo incoming. Lots of money spent today, but I mean, we're feeding even more grass into your next month, so I want to make sure that we can chunk through that. For our loan, we're now well over $1 million, but that is okay. So we've got a decent amount more cotton to get to here, but I saw we have spit out a couple of bales. I did the first few passes myself, but obviously got to start touching some other stuff, get the AI cranking on other jobs. We're getting those fields fertilized over there. It's always a bit of AI handling to do, but I'm going to get these bales grabbed up, get them off to the newly upgraded spinnery. Haven't been afraid to spend money on clothes production, on stuff from cotton, on silage, because that has just become our staple crops. The amount of money that you can make just from silage, just from clothes, all that sort of thing, it's just off the charts, man. Now we still do bread. It's definitely a little less yield worthy than some of these other productions, but it should still make us a decent amount. It's just hard to justify putting money into that when we got a perfectly good silage and clothes production setup cranking out. Now, I just got so used to the like hard economic difficulty prices that to see silage at 342 is crazy. Maybe it's a little bit of a weird departure from what we've been doing so far, but I just think it's gonna be a lot cleaner from a series perspective just to make this go slightly faster. I think it's just one of those things. If you're doing this challenge on your own, definitely go for it. I think it's completely doable. I just think it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of like speeding through the seasons. Just from doing some of my own calculations, if we kept on our current pace, it was going to take like, I don't know, like 80 years or something like that. I'd rather shave that down just a little bit considering we're on year 8, but we'll see. I think it'll just make things a bit cleaner in terms of like creating engaging stuff for you guys to watch and enjoy. And speaking of which, brother, I know you want to subscribe to the MisterTaters. This farmer right here sure does appreciate it. Still got this guy mowing. We are going to be baling after that, and this is a silage contract. Now, I could have flipped this field, but I think we owed old Leroy an actual contract instead of just flipping his field. So yeah, someone brought up a good point in the last episode that while I was talking about realism, they brought up that flipping fields is not realistic at all. My way of justifying it was that it's something that's like built into the base game for FS22, whereas some of the stuff like the unrealistic harvesters and stuff like that, those are from mods that you have to add into the game itself. At the end of the day though, it's all very unrealistic, and I probably shouldn't let that hold me back. So I think in terms of the series moving forward, it's probably going to get slightly more and more unrealistic. I might do some harvesters that are just like a bit faster. I might do things that are just gonna make a bit more money, just in the interest of kind of speeding it up and making it more engaging. Like, I don't want to just completely trivialize it, but at the same time making it so I could mow this field significantly quicker than I would otherwise is just gonna save me a lot of headache personally and cut out some of that time I mentioned in the last episode where it's just me doing down and backs with nothing to talk about. Eliminating some of that time that I normally just have to cut out of these episodes, I think is good. We'll probably end up using more and more of the unrealistic options for headers on harvesters and big mowers and stuff like that. You know, at the end of the day, if you think about it, I don't think creating a field like this is very realistic. I don't think owning 90% of the map is very realistic, but that's part of the fun. You get to be a little bit unrealistic in this game while you still get to enjoy the basics of farming and kind of do it in an arcadey way, you know? So I'm gonna have a bit of fun with it. You guys can always let me know what you think about that in the comments, but I think it's gonna be a very positive change moving forward. I didn't feel like the past episodes were dragging or anything like that, but you know, as we got closer and closer to trying to make that $1 billion, I think it would drag things down quite a lot. It's gonna be good, it's all positive, and I am looking forward to it. The main thing is just keeping things fun, keeping things fresh for you guys. I want to make sure these videos are as entertaining as I can make them be, and moving back and forth slowly over these gigantic fields with that one harvester we have, man, I gotta say, it got pretty boring doing that 45-minute harvest of the big boy field. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that, and we gonna have a good time, man. Now, I was just saying this guy probably is gonna spit out another bale, and look at that, he did. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this harvester. I think it's worked okay, but I think we could do a little bit better. I might just end up returning it once we get these fields harvested. So just cycling vehicles down here on this contract, you can see there are just a absolute ton of windrows here. As I said, this contract is just extremely automated, and I love the money it brings in. Anything to justify a ton of the money that I spend, man. So we got another field fertilized here. This thing is absolutely great. As I said, it has the same working width as the small fertilizer spreader. It's a little more unwieldy to drive around just because, you know, it's like a trailer rather than something that just sticks on to the back of your tractor. But at the end of the day, it holds like 8 times as much as that other one. So limiting how often I got to refill this is going to be huge for just getting bigger and bigger fields. After the selling season goes through, I'm gonna start thinking about what I want to buy. I think right now one of the main things that I'm gonna want to do is just expand out more. I flipped all 3 of these fields, 68, 69, and 70 last month, and I think those are gonna be my primary targets for where to expand next. I just want to go for those nice big fields. I could even plow these 2 together, and I just might do that. 68 and 69, that is gonna be the trend moving forward, as I mentioned. Ooh, I mean, look at this thing go. This thing is pretty. It's got the tanker on the back, man. And look how slowly it drains. Oh, you gotta love it. So up here at the spinnery, we have more than a few bales still just hanging around. It's gonna take a while to get through all of them, but it does feel nice to just have that surplus of cotton that is gonna fuel a lot of clothes production. I am already preparing myself for all the money we gonna be making. Very close to being done with the harvest day here. Doing these 2 fields was actually really quick. Really didn't take very much time whatsoever. Have another bale here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get another one, and unfortunately with this harvester, at least, you're not able to dump the incomplete bales. However, we do have another 3 there, so that's going to be a full trailer on up to the spinnery. Now on top of that, you can see that guy right there with those silage bales getting delivered on up to the biogas facility. We are almost done with that contract. It went really fast too. The contract came with 2 tractors to work on it, so everything went very smoothly. After we're done with this cotton, which is coming up right here, we aren't gonna have to do anything until the grass is fully grown. I believe our selling season is gonna start next month with all of our bread. I'll have to take a look at some of the productions. You can see a bit of clothes there. That's not getting sold till April, which I am actually happy with. It gives it a little more time to process with all those upgrades that I made. But yeah, look at that, a fully harvested cotton field, or 2 of them. Have a bit extra in the old harvester here that I think unfortunately is gonna have to go to waste. As I said, you can't unload incomplete bales when they're the round bales, which is a pretty big downside of the round bales, but that's all right. We're still gonna make so much money on these that it is a-okay. Yeah, I do not see a way to get that. I mean, how much do we have there? Like 6,000 liters of cotton. That is pretty unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. I could hold on to this harvester until next year, but I'm thinking if I'm gonna buy one, I might get one that is slightly faster than this one. We'll see, but I'm probably gonna turn this in and that trailer as soon as we get these bales delivered. Gathering these up is really just going to be the end of November. We do have that contract still processing just in the background, but other than that, it's been a very smooth, short little month. 2 cotton fields here on the old home base. Hope y'all are ready for a very big selling season though. It will begin next month, and we'll also be harvesting our grass next month, I believe. Do enjoy this little bale loader quite a lot. I know I've talked about them at length every time I use them, but they're fun to use, man. I love scooping up the bales. The AI is actually pretty good at it too when I need to put them on it. Courseplay has a built-in collecting the bales. You can just set it up on any field. Sometimes it can be a little weird with the offset, but you can fiddle around with it, and it does a great job of detecting all of them and picking them up. I'm pretty happy about that, just because if I want to do more cotton, I want to make sure that I don't have to babysit the delivery every single single time. It's nice to be able to just flip a switch and know that they're all going to get delivered. Granted, it could be slightly cleaner at the spinnery. It's kind of a small little facility. I'm kind of kicking myself. I think maybe building the spinnery somewhere else where it was slightly more accessible would have been easier, and maybe that's even something I'll do eventually. But I think right now we're at a point where I've dumped so much money into it and it's filled with so much product that it's going to be processing for a while before I can do that. The one nice thing about upgrading a facility is that it's also, this is the wrong turn. One nice thing about upgrading a facility is it does increase its value, so when you sell it you get more of that back, but still at a loss pretty much every single time. You can see we got a few bales. I think they just might be slightly out of the collection zone. That's the other thing that's maybe slightly annoying, is that the spinnery has kind of a small little area to drop these bales off, and I will be dropping a lot of them off, so it would be nicer if it was a bit bigger, but oh well. The other thing is it might just be full. Oh yeah, it's very full. That's all right. Look at all those bales. It's gonna be fed for quite some time there. Yeah, it's got what, 225,000 liters in storage, and then each one of these is, you know, another 10,000 liters or so. So it is going to take a while to chunk through all that. Oh, hey buddy. Okay, see you later. You can see, how much do we do? Like 15,000 liters a month or so. It's not terrible, but we got a lot of it, so gonna be good money, gonna be good eats this year, man. That is one thing about these productions, and kind of why I've been sinking more money into them. Getting it so all of our product from a given year can be fully processed before it's sold is going to be very important. That's almost as important as owning a whole bunch of land and, you know, having a huge yield. If you're not able to have all your product ready to roll as soon as harvest time comes, then it's like, you know, what's the point? It's just sitting there until the following year. Have some interesting coloration on this field, but I just double checked the whole thing's fertilized, so it's been an interesting one visually with the lime and the fertilizer and all that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna get these leased items turned in, and we will get right into cutting grass and making some sales, man. So it is December, and one thing I was wrong about here is bread actually doesn't peak until January either. I think that has moved around. The sale dates do tend to kind of naturally move on their own, but either way, we got a few fields to take care of today. So what's funny here is I actually just checked our fields and they are not ready to harvest. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe fertilizing them too late made it so they grew a little bit slower, but they have another month or two before I can actually harvest them here. So we are done for the year with harvesting. We're just gonna go ahead and get right into selling season. I don't think I actually have anything to sell today. We still have that silage contract going on right there. We got like a cultivating contract or two, but other than that, not much to do, man. I think we might just be getting right into the money machine. Worry about harvesting them grassy fields a little later. Now, maybe I was a little too fast here because it technically is the top month for flour. We're almost filled up here, and I think this is pretty much all we're gonna sell in December. A lot more in January, obviously our silage, but also our bread. So point being, I'm gonna set this to selling real quick. Just like that, we're gonna sell just a solid, you know, 26,000 liters or so of the flour. Now, while I did just put flour to auto sell, the other thing that I was checking before moving into the next month was our silage, and I didn't realize we are right there at the maximum that we could be storing here. So just to keep production going, I will probably put this on auto sell too, and it will sell all of this, all 2.5 million liters of silage, which is just an insane number, by the way. Right now it'll sell for 341. You can see that's almost at the peak at 342, so not a lot of money lost here. It should be right about the same as it would next month, but we'll have to see. I will just sell whatever we have cooked up tomorrow, and we have that sitting in the tank. So yeah, I will get this to auto sell as well. Does look like we just started selling those bales as well. The contract is done, and we're just gonna get the rest of the bales sold in the process. So here it is, 8:45 in the morning in December. Everything's gonna sell right around 9. By everything, I mean our silage, which is 2.5 million liters, which is, you know, an insane amount of silage, and then just a little bit of flour at the same time. You can see we're sitting just under $20,000. We can kind of use that to see how much we're gonna make here, which is gonna be a lot. So just speeding things up so this is a bit quicker, and oh Look at that jump. We were just under $20,000 and now we have 800,000. So right here, sold products $784,000. Have a bit of the sold bales. A few more of those will be selling as we wrap up that contract. So yeah, very profitable start of selling season here for us. Now I will very likely be using a lot of this money that we're making right now to buy stuff. For the time being, I think I will just use it to pay off a lot of the loan that we took out to afford everything, and we will probably be ramping that right back up once it gets into, you know, buying land season. About the same time as planting season, we end up just buying all them fields and planting them. Yeah, I will get that loan paid off, and we'll do a little bit of a selling season next month with all the bread, the remainder of the silage, and our greenhouse products. So still gonna be a solid one. Always funny watching these numbers go down as I just spam click this. So with another 30,000 left in our pocket, the loan is down to 350,000. Once again, I'm pretty sure the capacity of it, or just like our cap for loan, is over 2 million. So we are way below it and have a ton of spending power moving into selling / planting season. So here we are in January, just the next month, a cold, blustery day, 29 degrees, a little cloudy, a little sunny right now, cloudy later. You can see there's a little bit of frost on the ground, but nothing too crazy. We got a few things to deliver here today. So it is the top price for bread, which is one of our bigger products now with all that oat flowing. It supposedly is the top price for silage, but you know, the funny thing is, it was actually a little bit higher yesterday. Kind of funny how that works out. I think there was just a little bit of like great demand or something like that, but those dates are not always accurate. On top of that, we also got lettuce, tomatoes, and strawberries. I guess technically lettuce is next month, but I might just get it sold. It's at the peak price anyways. Looks like the top price is going to be Grocery Mart for those, as well as the bread. So we will be going to and from the Grocery Mart today. Now, speaking of our production chain here at the greenhouse, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put these to selling. We're just going to sell all of them today. Obviously going to be transporting a good amount as well. I will get those out, get that going. Got the trailer mostly filled up from our storage over there. We'll just grab the remainder of what is here. Go and grab that bread over there as well. Now, even though we did sell our silage yesterday, you can see we have another 650,000 liters to sell today. Not exactly 2.5 million liters, but I'm glad we sold yesterday because the prices were just ever so slightly better. So I will flip that to selling as well. It'll turn over at the turn of the hour. Don't think we'll be able to make it all in one trip, but we will be able to get close here. Oh man, I just realized we are depositing strawberries into the bakery, trying to flip this thing around. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, I guess we got some strawberries in storage now. I totally forgot that was a thing. So probably the ugliest trailer job I've ever done here, but we got all of the products on one trailer, so we will be able to deliver it all at once. I may have knocked some over in the process and it got messy very quickly, but everything is strapped down. Maybe a couple pieces of bread are falling out the side there. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. We are getting all our products there in one piece. Just have a couple bales left from that contract. We will be able to turn that guy in as soon as it's done. We were able to turn in another contract for a big cultivation as well, which, as I said, are some of my all-time favorite contracts ever. Very passive, very in the background while I do things like load up this trailer horror show. So we will swing this around, get everything sold, and the money is going crazy. I love watching it just skyrocket when we make these sales. Have to admit, it's a bit more fun to sell like this than just putting things to auto sell, but it also takes a lot more time. Well, keep it going, keep it going. You know you want more bread. Man, they are taking their time with that. 160,000. I don't know why this bread is like delayed. Slowly selling, I guess. Man, this is taking a minute, huh? There we go. Okay, another 17,000 and 32,000. So all together, $210,000 of products. That's wild. Now, obviously, a good chunk of this is coming from the fact that we went to a better economy setting, but that has to be easily our biggest sale day ever thus far. Although I guess we literally did just make an $800,000 silage sale last month, so maybe I'm mistaken there. regardless, making a lot of money. We've made well over $1 million this year in year 8, and that feels good. I know our yearly average is pretty well above that. It's going to be smaller this year, at least, just because we kind of messed up on our fields and didn't get the grass ready in time. It was only going to be stage 1, but I didn't fertilize it, and I think that slowed the process down, make it so we just couldn't quite get that cut in before the end of the year. But that is all right. As soon as it's ready to go, I will get it all harvested up. Hopefully that happens before we want to get planting. Even if it's stage 1, I'll probably just get things mowed, sent out to the silo, and then get our regular crops planted. So just last couple of bales here on this contract right here. Just one over there and one loading up right here, and that should do her. And before we do that, I do believe we have the last of our bales being sold here. For whatever reason, these still seem to be fermenting, so I'm just gonna leave them here, I guess. He's driving on back, but we're done with that contract. So yeah, look at that, another 25k in our pocket from collecting on that guy. Ooh, it's a juicy month, man. Have the rest of what was in our storage over there. Gonna go ahead and take these guys on out to Grocery Mart as well. We were just waiting on the last of the silage to sell, the bread that's in the bakery to sell. I think I put that to auto sell at least. Oh, it was the products here in the greenhouse. I also need to fill up on liquid fertilizer there, just noticed that. And yeah, got a bit more to sell here that I will send out. It's kind of funny we added some strawberries in there, but oh well. Apparently some eggs too. Might even have been from when we used to sell eggs there before I bought it. I accidentally duped those. Speaking of accidentally drove right by the grocery store. Now I forgot Grocery Mart doesn't take this. I didn't know there was a grocery store that didn't sell eggs or honey, but whatever. I guess we're going to the fast food restaurant right here. Just a few pallets, so I really just wanted to clear things out while it was selling season before we can put the money to better use than just rotting away in the storage unit there. Got to be creative with how you back up these dolly trailers. I know I have to, because it ain't gonna work otherwise. Made a bit of money there, 12,000, maybe like 20,000 from all of that. Yeah, good times. And it looks like we did just sell the rest of what we had as well of the silage in the greenhouse. And sold products in December, as I mentioned, and then nearly 500,000 here in January. On top of that, a little bit of the bale sale last month, but then more so today with 50,000 being sold. A little bit of harvest income. I think that is like the chicken or the eggs or something like that from selling those. A little bit of harvest income. I think when I was selling to the fast food restaurant, it looked like that was the eggs and the honey, which I'm not sure why it gets classified as that, but whatever. Overall, probably made a solid, what? Close to 2 million this year. But yeah, I mean, solid little selling day here. We'll probably just be getting right into planting season, right into buying more of Elm Creek season. Good times, man. Taking a look here at all of our wool covered friends, the sheep, how they're looking, all the wool. It is February of year 8. Came off of making a whole lot of money this last month. Selling season was a very fruitful. You can see we have $400,000 in our pocket and absolutely $0 in loans. You can see our sheep are doing very well. Might need a little bit more food. They're on their last couple bales each here. As well as being our supply of wool here, it is also time to get planting cotton if it's something we want to do. I think it was a very positive thing to do this last year. We still have just like an absolute ton of it there up at the spinnery. It looks like we are still overloaded on it. So in terms of buying fields, I'm thinking that these 3 are probably what I'm going to want to nab here. Can definitely make it work with our finances, and it will give us a ton of extra acreage to work with. These 3 are all looking good. This guy and this guy are not planted yet, but field 70 here actually already has some cotton sown and growing on it, which is really nice because that's what I was planning on putting there anyways. I think on top of that, I probably will get these 2 planted with cotton again. I'll maybe consider not going cotton on these ones just because I think these 3 together will probably be more than enough cotton to feed our spinnery. Yeah, I will get some money taken out and get these guys bought. It was nice not being in debt for a little bit, but here we go again. We have $400,000 in our pocket with $0 in loan, and that's probably the best that I've had this looking in a long time. All right, we got some money taken out, probably overkill, but whatever. I can always return it later. We do have a decently big payday coming as soon as we're able to sell the clothes over at our tailoring shop. Just kind of looking here, you can see we're getting very, very full on clothes. Looks like we got a solid 2,000 liters already cooked up in there. But yeah, it's gonna sell for a lot. Anyways, back to business here. It's time. Let's just get this bought. This is ours. I will not be returning it this time. All mine, man. All mine. Now, in terms of the other two, I mean, while we're here, let's just get them bought, man. We got some planting to do on these two. Also gonna want to do that plowing, but we'll get it all taken care of right now. So we'll buy that one, and then we'll buy this guy too. Oh, look at that chunk of land. I mean, that is a lot of land to work with. I'd even consider plowing them together, but there is water here, and I don't think that's going to work out very well. This would be a ridiculously sized field, though. So we do need to get planting. I will probably get our 2 fields planted over here first. I've been getting kind of sick of running the planter with the tank tractor. I love the tank tractor, but these tracks back here have just made for a lot of issues. So I actually think it might be time. It might be a silly thing to invest in, but I've been wanting to get a new tractor for a bit. You can see our boy here is pretty nice, but we can do a bit better, you know. Now, I actually love this tractor. It starts at 396, but it can go all the way to 517 horsepower, which is great. Goes up to 37 miles per hour, which is also awesome. I think I'm just going to go ahead and slam this one. I'm going to just lease it out. We'll make payments on it, but I think I'll end up keeping this. And yeah, I think this is going to be a long-term purchase. I'm going to just lease it out and basically make payments on it. But I think we'll end up keeping this guy. So yeah, let's just go ahead and lease this out. It's going to cost us a bit of money. It's definitely going to be an expensive thing to make payments on, but that's all right. So yeah, look at this new tractor. It is a big boy, over 500 horsepower for this. And this guy is actually going to be on planting today, so I'm going to get him taken on over here, even though I don't technically own it right now. Making payments on it, and it will be ours soon enough. I will just buy the whole thing out. I mean, I suppose I could take out the money and just straight up buy it, but we'll just do it this way for now, since we're already spending so much money. But welcome to the family, Mr. Fent, the Fent Vario 1000, I believe it was. And you can see the turn radius on this is already so much better. It handles a lot better than the tank tractor with this planter specifically, which I really like. I was getting pretty sick of running this planter with the tank tractor. So with that AI all set up doing that planting, I am going to go ahead and grab that plow and take it down to our new fields. Only one of them needs to be plowed, and I guess technically the whole thing doesn't need to be plowed, but just that little section that I want to combine the fields with. So now it's just back to drawing some of those custom fields. I'll probably keep things pretty close to the original lines here. I suppose I could go closer to the creek if I wanted to, but it is kind of nice to have that space. If I wanted to, I could have it extend just a little bit and then hook back here. So without further ado, I will get drawing that new custom field. Extended things out just a little bit. I did do something weird up here. I think it's gonna make a pretty weirdly shaped field, but you know, what's drawing custom fields without a weird little spike in the corner? Because I have that spike, I think it might be a good idea for our 32 acre field. Why not name it Spike? Look at that fancy new field. We can go ahead and get this guy here plowing. Looks like we finished things up here, but we do have some weird little offshoots here and there that I will need to get taken care of. I'm not sure what happened there. I'll get this cleaned up real quick. Taking a look here, looks like things are going all right. A little bit messy on them corners, but nothing that I care too much about. It looks like we're extending out another row or so, which is totally fine. So with all of these bales, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get get a bale loader leased out, and I might end up just keeping this one as well. I've kind of been pushing off getting one of these bale loaders and just using that trailer, but I think this is just going to be way more convenient. With the amount of sheep that we have going, this is just going to be like a convenience thing to do. We do have a solid 12 hay bales in there, so I think I might just grab those for now. The other thing we need to get doing is sending this wool off to the spinnery. We've obviously been feeding it a lot of cotton, but can't forget the sheep and their precious wool. Now, as funny as it is, getting 2 more bales on top is not exactly what I had in mind. So only 1 pizza bale allowed per map. So we climbed up on our roof here, and we can just get these guys taken care of. Yep, get down there. Oh. All right, the sheep are feeling nice and well fed. They each got about, like, I don't know, 5 bales. So things are looking good. Have the planter headed on over. We have our 2 fields at home fully planted. This guy's looking good. I'm just making sure everything's up to where I want it to be before I send this plow on back. It is leased. Might make sense to just buy it one of these days, but, you know, whatever. I just had the realization that I did not actually want to make the spike, which I'm renaming this again. It's gonna be called the spike. I like that more. It says spiky field, the spike, because it's got the. I think I'll probably go with oats this next month. I mean, I can get him driven out here. He's gonna be planting as soon as it is planting season, which we are rapidly approaching on. I'm also very much looking forward to April so we can get all that sold. But hey, just wanted to say, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I'm making a lot more of these broke 2 billionaire challenges. We are getting there, man. We are making big strides. I'm very happy about it. And yeah, I will have to catch you guys in the next one. See ya.